Hi, I'm Kevin Hill, and today we're doing something extra special. We just hit 400,000 subscribers, and I can't thank you guys enough. It's super exciting each time we hit these little milestones. It's a lot of fun for me. I knew we couldn't do just a regular video. We had to change it up some way. You've seen me do a lot of big paintings in the past, so I thought we'd do something a little bit smaller. Maybe something like this. That's pretty small. I've got some tape on the back, and this is kind of crazy, but we're literally gonna stick it on the easel. All right, let's get started. All right, we're gonna start today here with our little filbert brush. I got some white, blue, and black, touch of red, or just a touch of red in there. Pretty light. All right, here we go. No medium, this is dry. And these are oils. I know I've got my acrylic palette. I did that to confuse you. I just didn't want to get my whole big palette dirty. I don't need much paint. I'm just gonna rub this right on. I've done one of these before years ago. And I've never tried this painting before. This is a new painting that I just came up with. So the last time I did this, I was actually replicating a painting that I had done large. So this is the first time I've ever tried a new painting on a small canvas like this. Very interesting. All right, we'll just have fun. Treat it like it's a regular painting and sort of hope for the best. That's the way we do it around here. We just sort of hope for the best. Now let's go ahead and drop in the outline of a mountain with the detail round brush. As you might imagine, the detail round brush is going to be used quite a lot. There. Hopefully you guys really enjoy seeing different stuff. I know I enjoy doing different stuff. I think you guys probably do enjoy seeing it. There we go. That's nice, isn't it? Maybe bring that mountain on down. For the first time ever, I had to move the camera forward just to get a shot on my close-up. Otherwise, it was too far back. There, you couldn't see what I was going to do. So I had to move that thing quite a lot closer. I also sanded this canvas just so that I don't get as much of that canvas tooth coming through, because that'll ruin your detail on something that's small. Okay, cool. Now we'll take some white on our round brush here, and I also moved that close-up camera forward again. I just couldn't get my close-up. It's so close now I could touch it. This is crazy. Oh, this is really, really crazy. I'm just going to do the tiniest, lightest little dabs of this white. Wipe off my brush. Honestly, treating it like a big painting. I'm just being kind of careful. Yeah, there we go. Just go right here. Touch on a little more. And I'm looking back at the monitor to make sure that you guys can see my hands are not blocking. So let's face it. It's pretty easy for that to happen. All right, I'll try not to be too quiet here, but I'm a little bit concentrating. So I'll bring that mountain down. I'm just treating this as much as I can like a regular old mountain. What's all the difference anyways? Okay. Maybe right down in here we've got a little bit of a glacier or something. Just start indicating that. Good. And just like always, you can always wipe the canvas if it gets out of control, which it very well may. That's good. We need to leave plenty of room for our foreground. I don't want to overdo. There. Good, good, good. This will teach you brushstroke control, won't it? Okay, that's too bright. Too bright, too bright, too bright. We're gonna go darker and place on a little highlight there. Now I'm gonna add on a bit of a silver lining, and here's how I load the brush. I just stick it straight in and out of the paint so that there's more paint than brush there at the end. That is gonna be something I'm gonna rely on a lot today. It'll get me a finer point than I could get otherwise. Okay, I'd love to see some of that right up in here. There, that looks decent, doesn't it? Just kind of exciting. The other thing that I'm going to be doing a lot, I'm going to be relying heavily on looking back where you guys are, even looking through the camera, so that I get a better idea of how this is showing up. Because to me, it's so small that it's hard to tell. But when I see it magnified, then I can kind of pick out the spots that don't look right. So I'll be constantly kind of shifting shadows and highlights around all day, I'm sure. All right, just finishing up with the blender brush, kind of softening the mountain. Actually softened all of the mountain very carefully with the blender brush. I'm noticing that the blender brush actually makes everything a little more detailed looking at the microscopic level, if you know what I mean. It looked really good here, but when I looked in the camera, I was like, those little peaks are catching the light, and I don't know. So I smoothed everything out. I think I'm gonna have to do that quite a lot today. Of course, I'm using oils. If you're using acrylics, it would have, dried flat without much texture. Maybe we wouldn't have to blend it so much. I don't know. What am I talking about? I'm not an expert on tiny stuff here. Oh, I stick to my 18 by 24, so rarely do I go bigger, and I don't usually go smaller. All right, that's pretty. I was thinking about maybe adding some different colors, but I think I'm gonna stick to kind of these just beautiful mountain colors, some reds, some golds. The grass isn't coming up super green yet. Maybe this is, I don't know, it's either spring or fall. There. I'm gonna come down like this, just placing in a little color. You don't want much color. Here's my palette, by the way. Forgot to show you. Kind of fun to see, isn't it? I don't know, kind of fun for me. All right up in here. And bring that mountain thing right down. Okay, obviously everything is subject to change, but here's some rocks. Let's get some rocks in there. Too dark. You'll be very careful on your values not to get them too dark too fast. The other bonus here, the canvas hasn't fallen off yet. That's a bonus. I keep waiting for it to fall off. Now I'm gonna pull my little round brush until it's nice and flat. Now it's a flat brush, I guess. All right, let's see what we can do with this. Maybe we can, touch it carefully and get some trees. Do those look like trees? Maybe. I can't tell from here. All right, that looks decent. I mean, it looks soft. I guess that's a good thing, right? And perhaps they'll look more like trees once we get other trees around it. That's usually how it works in painting, so I don't know why it wouldn't also work doing this crazy thing. All right. Hey, it's kind of fun, I gotta say. And as far as, you're gonna love this, as far as speed is concerned, and nobody ever believes me when I say this, small paintings are easier. Here I am doing this crazy little, crazy little thing. And I'm still saying small paintings are easier. They're faster. I've spent less time on this. I mean, if this was a regular painting, I would not be done with the mountain. It's a little nerve-wracking, but I'm telling you, to get detail in a big painting takes longer. That looks good though, doesn't it? Okay, there's my kind of background established, maybe right there. Some trees, I don't know. I don't want to go crazy. Don't want to go crazy, that's for sure. Maybe back up in here, I want to just touch, and obviously I can play around with this more later, but you just add a little something back in there. Have some of that go back up into the mountain. I need to look and make sure, all of that's working. But, all right, we'll let that sit for a second. Now let me just get a couple of darker ones in. I'm thinking right here. give yourself a little line. And then just like always, oh, I'm shaking, what's up with that? Just like always, oh, there we go. I'll figure it out, don't worry. There we go. Just like always, pull your tree right out. Okay, maybe it's not exactly like always. It's a little smaller than normal. Hopefully you guys are enjoying this. Now I went ahead and sketched out some very large rocks up here, and they kind of hold back our little river. And I'd like to also throw some rocks right here in the foreground of the river. You know, something for them to splash around. Should be kind of interesting. There we go, it looks decent. Just like any other painting, just kind of pop them in, and then we'll put our water around it just like we always would. We may or may not need to wipe these off with a little tiny corner of the shop towel. There. That's nice, actually. You always put a little more shore than you really want. Okay, then you don't have to fill it in perfectly because we got other stuff going in on top. That's good though, isn't it? Look how cool that is. All right, oh, one more thing we gotta do. Where's my little highlight color? Let's go ahead and drop in there. A nice highlight there, a highlight here. All kinds of highlights. Oh, that's too, I need to adjust these colors a little more, but there. Another thing I've been doing, just very sparing amount of paint, not much paint. If you do too much paint, it won't turn out right. It'll be too globby looking. So very limited amount of paint. Now I've mixed up a nice light blue. Hopefully you can see my palette. I really don't know sometimes. I think it's maybe a little too tight for you to see it. But anyway, I've got a nice light blue, and I've got my brush flattened. All right, there we go. It looks good. Looks good. Let's see here. Maybe just carefully pull it in and around, just like any other painting. This isn't so bad. There. Maybe wipe your brush on a paper towel before reloading if you go over a rock. And again, I'm using oils, which you could probably do this painting in acrylics. I think that the oils are nice for this because they're always wet and they mix to create these very subtle little tiny color changes that would be very difficult to work in with acrylics when you're talking on this small of a scale. Not to say we couldn't do it, I think it would just take more effort. That's what I think. I don't know. I should probably do it so that I could actually tell you for sure. Oh yeah, how about right there, nice. It's kind of almost funny how small this canvas is. This is a canvas panel. I know they make them in this size as a stretched canvas, but as panel is what I had access to. So that's what I went with. Nice, maybe bring that up there, good. It's hard to say what's going on back here, but perhaps it kind of comes that way and definitely from back there. Oh yeah, just detail after detail, right? A little bluer, maybe. I kind of like that purpley undertone that ended up back there. I just did it when I did the sky, but for whatever reason, kind of the purpley cast to it. Okay, so that's kind of, I wouldn't say the highlight, but that's at least in there. Now, obviously, I've got to look back through the camera to make sure that it looks good. From right here, it looks good, but I've noticed that sometimes things don't stick out here. So, probably be easier to paint one of these not for a video. Here we go. And just highlight the middle here. Don't need a whole lot. Of course, you just want it in the middle to, just like any other painting, just to show the light. And then you kind of get back and don't add too much. Now as we kind of wind down, painting gets close to finished, I decided to spend a minute or two adding a little more detail and darkening the left-hand side of the painting. Add a little more detail here to these cliffs, softened a lot of this area where it meets the sky. What else did I do? Oh, and then kind of darken the corner up there. And the reason I did that is because I stood back and I looked from about where you guys are. And then I also looked through the camera and kind of made a determination that it was overall too bright in the corners. So there you go. Nice. Let me go ahead and just very quickly add some dark here. Oh yeah. Some dark up in here. We're going to do some trees on the right side, but I don't think I'm going to have anything on the left. I thought, part of today, I thought, well, I'd stick a big one there, but I don't think I'm going to. And it's possible we figure out how to do some pull-up grass, if I can. All right, let's go ahead and get those trees in. These are just slightly larger trees, just slightly. And they kind of come up to about here-ish. Just touch. Fairly subtle and also pretty sparse. I don't want to kill that background. It would go away so quickly. Keep them nice and sparse. And down here they can be a little thicker because they are growing together. Very sparse at the top. Maybe not one more right here that kind of protrudes out. It helps to sort of fill in. Of course, I don't want to. There, I don't want to cover up all my cliffs. See how I still see them in the background there through the trees? You can tell we've got a lot of layers of paint on here. There, that looks good. That is just about what we wanted. Just about. Maybe you need to brighten the cliff there, but let's see, maybe this is a kind of a blank spot. Be a great place for a tree. Right there. Tiny evergreens. It's easy to make them too big. Just a few dabs of paint's all it takes to make that tree super, super thick. So, trying to do my best to keep them small. All right, now, while we're right in this area, it would be a good idea to add that. Oh, why is that not coming off? I think I need more paint. Let's go ahead and get our cliff face back. That's kind of nice. See how it's showing through the trees. Pop that right back in. Nice. Oh yeah, a little red in there. So you got to have all these different colors for your painting to look good. Maybe a little red here in the foreground would be okay. And then some extra highlight. Oh, so much. I just had to squirt out a little more white. Boy, you use up a lot of paint, but it's not on the canvas. It's just here on the palette, all mixed up in different colors that I didn't end up using as much as I mixed. Try to get that accent highlight in. And just like always, I don't know if it's going to be any good until I get back there and I look through the camera lens, honestly, or through the camera monitor. There. Just the tiniest little details, believe it or not, show. Like just a brush stroke or two makes a huge difference. Okay, now see about getting some colored bushes or something growing up in the base of this area. Just by dabbling. Yeah, just to create a little variation in texture. That works. Let's see about getting a highlight on those maybe. Not bad. Ooh, that might have been too much, but I can always reverse that. Okay, wow, just kind of like showing you all these little details, because this is kind of what makes the painting, is just going back and forth trying to figure out what works, what doesn't. repairing, changing, all that stuff. Okay. Maybe just a little, not too much, but just a little dark-ish color on these evergreens. Darkish green. That's probably about all you need. A little dab here and there. All right, well, I think we're done. I had a lot of fun. I hope you did too. Don't forget to check out our website, DVDs, and Brushline. Thanks for watching.